Hello guys, it's me Taz again, back in My Hero of course, and we've got some crazy juicy information today. I was being nosy last night in Endeavor headquarters, and I was noticing that they were speaking about an old Reddit post or a couple of old Reddit comments from a certain somebody, and that was about the Endeavor Quirkset. And of course, we don't know if it's reliable or not, but my boy Zoe, he decided to go check their past comment history, and they were calling shit out back in I don't know what season. It was 6 months ago, these comments, but they were calling out characters that were unreleased, and everything was 100% accurate. So I don't know whether to, kind of push this out as something reliable here or not, but we are gonna cover it just in case that on release of Endeavor's Quirkset, all of these abilities are accurate to what this person has called out. If you want to go and see these comments for yourself, then I suggest that you just go to Reddit and find them. But to save you time, as I said, we're gonna cover it in this video here. So this is a comment from around 6 months ago, so it's around in January, and I'm not too sure on my timing here, but I believe that was when Kiragiri was being released. And it says here, I don't follow the community much and data mining feels tedious to me, but from the reverse engineering I've done on the game, CH103 Kiragiri seems to be the most developed character. Searching through the game's binary, it appears to contain a list of portals, so he might be able to spawn portals, likely more than 2, which that's his beta, we already know that. Losing health as they are used until they despawn. They also seem to have a component with arrows pointing to portals and characters, which would provide some graphical assistance. And we see him now talk about the season 10 character, which was Shinso. The other character is CH105, who seems to have at least 2 mind control abilities, which is the special ability and also his gamma, which we know about now. And we see him talk about the special ability being a lure effect that draws enemies towards him, which was true. The fact he can know what the abilities do before the character is even released the whole season before is honestly crazy work. And additionally, about the Quirkset of season 9, I think this is Kiragiri, right? Yeah, he came out with Kiragiri. Anyways, additionally, the only Quirkset that appears in the game runtime is CH007's, which was Denki's. And he says here that the only conclusion he can draw is that their alpha is homing projectiles, but this might have been in the binary for months, so it doesn't necessarily mean anything. However though, it did mean something because he was right. Now please go and do it for Endeavor. And Mirio too. Oh wait, he did do that for Mirio and Endeavor, so let's cover that now. We have here, Endeavor has been long completed. That means, he's defo due. He's gonna be coming next season or the season after. His alpha is a multi-phase projectile. The alpha of Strike Endeavor is a simple projectile, while the beta is a multi-phase. Hope you'll understand that. Basically, you know how Endeavor's beta works, it's like 2 hits. He's saying here that the alpha is going to work in the same way, where it's a hit and then like a second hit if the first bullet hits you, The beta is also multi-phase, but it features 2 projectiles. The ability state can spawn them separately and constantly monitors whether a tornado is currently spawned, so likely only one can exist at a time. And it also has warning signs for both allies and enemies, so a delayed AoE. Interesting stuff, bro. This is kind of confusing for even me. The tornado has shield-like properties similar to All Might's tornado or Mirio's gamma. I don't know how it's going to work. It's obviously going to be a moving tornado. I think you're going to be able to get damaged by it if you're standing in it, and you also can't shoot anybody standing inside of it because it reflects. That's so strong, bro. That's so strong. And to me, it just don't sound like that this character is Assault. It just sounds like he's technical. And finally, for the gamma is an ability with a charge system. When charged, it modifies its effect, including the maximum height for some reason, and can spawn multiple projectiles. Interesting stuff again, bro. This Endeavor sounds even more like AoE dominant than Strike Endeavor, and that scares the fuck out of me. So those are all of Endeavor's abilities, and again, do not take this as a confirmation. Of course, anything can change, and this guy could be fully well talking shit. But me personally, bro, and I feel like I'm always seeing fake leaks left, right and center. This doesn't really seem too unreliable to me, bro. So we already have the beta mesh and textures and stuff in the files. I might be wrong there with textures, but I know we've got stuff for Endeavor's Quirkset Quirkset beta in the files, and we can even see the tornado. And I won't cover this bit too much because the video's about Endeavor, not Mirio, but he also said as for Mirio, the only completed ability is his Gamma, which instead of being a shield, it's a stance that not only blocks damage but also counter attacks automatically based on the damage received. To know that the counter attack is based on how much damage is received to Mirio is actually quite big, bro. It's gonna be so good for him. I think Mirio is gonna be a great Quirkset, but as I said, you know, I ain't gonna cover this. I'm gonna cover all of that in another video. I hope you lot enjoyed today's one. If you did, please leave a like, and also if you've made it this far, I should have mentioned it, but I'm gonna start mentioning it in every video. I've got 10k subscribers, yeah. I genuinely thought about a solid maybe 50, 60, 70% of you guys are all subscribed. All of my returning viewers, over 90% of you motherfuckers are not subscribed, bro. What's going on there? All my returning viewers, please hit that red button if you have not yet. It would help out a lot with this channel, man, and I really do appreciate it. Anyways, I hope you lot have a good day. It's been Taz, and I will catch you guys later on. We should be streaming today. Maybe not though, I don't know. I'll let you lot know in Discord. Goodbye.